Hi guys, welcome to the live tutelage. Now in this session, we'll be discussing the methods or the functions with parameters and return values Okay, so first of all, what is a parameter? What is a parameter means? So for example, if this is my function, in the previous session we have discussed how to define a method and how to call that method in the main function, right? Now here, if suppose this is my method, and here if you observe the open and closed brace, there is nothing inside of the brackets. That means there are no parameters. So if suppose if I assign some values here, if I pass some variables here, then that is known as parameter passing to the method. Okay, let us take some example. Let us define a function first of all. So this is our main method, which is we have created earlier. This is a simple main method, and now I am going to define a method called, say, public static void display. Now here in this method, what I am doing is I am passing some parameters, so which is integer a and integer b. Okay, so what is this? Integer a and integer b, I am passing the parameters. Now I am just doing system dot. I am just printing the result of a and b here. Okay, this is about my function. The work of my function is to add two numbers and print it. But where do I get the values for a and b? So where do I get the values from a and b means I can pass the values for a and b from the main method. So how I can pass the values to a and b is, now here I just call the function by using display, the name of the function, and within brackets, so I am just passing the set of values 10, 5. Okay, now here let me run my program. What happens, and let us see. So now here you can observe here the 15. What is this 15? The result of 10 and 5. How it has come here? So whenever you run any program, I have already told you from the previous session, the execution starts from the main method. The compiler will check where the main exists, and it comes to the next instruction and it starts the execution. This is the first line to start the execution. So your compiler starts from the main and it comes to this method, which is display. Now immediately it checks where the display method exists. So it comes directly to the display method, right? And here you are passing the variables integer a and b. That means the 10 value will be passed to the variable a and 5 value will be passed to the variable b, right? And now it comes to the next instruction, which is system.out.println, which prints the addition of a and b. That is how you are printing the 15 here. Now for example, if I want to add some more, if I want to display some of these two numbers for the other set, so what I can do is I can just simply replace my display statement. With some set of value, with some other set of values. So if I want to go for another set, I can just go for the other set of values. So see, I am just calling my function 3 times, but here the addition is happening for only 2 variables, right? So if I want to go for a normal program, here how many additions are happening? For 3 additions are happening. So to store 10, I need one variable. To store 5, I need one more variable. To store 20, one more variable. To store 15, one more variable. To store 1, one more variable. And to store 2, one more variable. So total I require 6 variables to store these values and 3 instructions to print the values, right? So which will occupy much space. So to overcome that, we have come to the functions, we have come to the methods. Now here I just passed only the values 10, 5. So when your execution starts, it first checks for display 10, 5. It directly go to the function display, and now it stores the value of a as 10, the value of b as 5, and immediately it prints the value of a plus b, which is 15. Then again it come back to the main and it checks for the second instruction. What is the second instruction again? Display function with two variables 20 and 15. Again it comes back to the display function. Now in this case the value of A is 20 and the value of B is 15. And now the result will be printed. Now again it goes back to the main and again it calls the same function with values 1 and 2. Now in this case the A is 1 and B is 2 and again it prints the operation. That is how your parameter passing through the method works. Okay, let us run the program and see what happens. When I just run this, see you can find the values. So the first is 3 set of values, right? So the first is 15, which is for 10 and 5. The second is for 20 and 15. The third is for 1 and 2. You can find these 3 values for 3 set of values of my function addition. Okay, so this is how you can pass the parameters from the method to your main method. So this is use the define method and this is the main method. So you are passing the values. How you are passing the values? From the main method to your user defined method. You are giving the value here and you are just using its operation here. Now let us go reverse. So whatever the value, the result I will get it here. Say for example 10 plus 5 which is 15, I got it here. I want to print it in my main. Right? I want to print it and I want to do it. I want to do some manipulation in my main. How I can do it? So for that you have a function or you have a kind of method which will returns a value. So for that, previously I told you void means which does not return any value. That means whatever the value will come into this particular method will be useful, will be used only this particular method. It will not go anywhere out of the method. That is the meaning of the void keyword. But when I replace this with some type, say for example integer, that means it is returning a kind of integer value and that value will return to the main. So when I say return, it will obviously return the value to the main method. Okay. Now here I am using the keyword called return. Return of A plus B. Right? Return of A plus B. That means you return the result of A plus B. Where you have to return the result, it goes to the main method. So for example, I am just commenting this too. Now here what I am doing is I am just storing the result of sum into the variable called sum, which is equal to display of 10, 5. So how the execution happens? So once the execution happens, it first comes and checks the display of 10, 5. You are passing the values 10, 5 to the method. So it comes to this method. Now the A value is 10 and B value is 5. Now the immediate instruction is return A plus B, which is 10 plus 5. So which is equal to 15. That value it is returning to your main method and that result is stored into the variable called sum. Now you are printing the value in the main method. System.out.println sum. Right? That means it prints the value of the sum. Now let me run this program and let us check it. Now see, you can observe 15 is printed. In the previous session we have displayed the output here, right, in the method. But now we have displayed the output from my main method. So this is about parameter passing and this is about returning the value. Okay, there are 3 types of method. One is a normal method which we have seen in the previous session. The second is functions or methods with parameter passing. So this is about functions or method with parameter passing. When I declared like this, it is parameter passing. When I put void, that means which is not returning any value. So void means no return value, right? When I declare something like int, char or string, that means it is returning some value. And where it is returning the value? The return value goes to the main. Return value goes to the main and you can use the values in the main. Right? This is about parameter passing and the return values of the methods in Java. Thank you.